I've always seen technology going hand in hand with education.
So I was really intrigued by the idea of this blending of bringing online and face-to-face learning.
Blended learning gives the power back to the students.
It's like more on your own.
They can work at their own pace, they can work at their own place.
Questions that typically are confined to 48 minutes now expand outside of the classroom.
So my start actually was at Otterbein University, where I went to college, and we had a blended statistics course, which was the first blended class I'd ever even seen, let alone been able to take.
They are really in control, and the teachers there to facilitate the learning.
And it was really interesting us being able to have the time to research the data and collect the information and really do these problems outside of class.
Blended learning courses are really teacher directed, which I think that's when my interest really peaked.
Our group of nerds in the math lab doing our homework together, but it's like 10 at night and it doesn't matter because you don't need the teacher, you don't need the classroom, you just need the materials they posted.
Less likely to throw in the pencil and say, all right, I'll just wait and let him spoon feed me tomorrow. They keep trying, they ask a question or they can ask one of their peers or something like that, or just go back and watch a video.
It was something that I was designing. It's a curriculum that I am familiar with, that I have, in a sense, created on my own anyway.
Blended learning offered the best opportunity I might get to help my students get more choice.
And it's just a new way of taking it from a traditional setting into more of a 21st century setting.
Common perception would be that with blended learning, students are looking at videos, there's much more online, that the role of the teacher starts to fade away. And I believe that it's exactly the opposite. The technology allows teachers to focus on the things that are most important, which are the questions that the students have and delivering instruction on a very personal level.
You click to chapter 5, which actually you get to from the original materials page.
I want them to know that I'm still here in the traditional sense, even if we're not here in the traditional sense.
She emailed me, and I'm emailing her back on what she should do, and then that didn't work. So we're going back and forth. Well, she wasn't able to get that as we were talking, so I was able to turn the video part on and then just hold my calculator up to the camera, and she could see exactly what it looked like. And it was, for me, it was nice to see that aha moment for her, because if that were a regular class, I don't know if once they don't get that answer, I'm not sure she reaches out past that first or second email.
I think having a number of class meetings with the students in a traditional setting before we moved to the blended setting gave me a first chance to establish a relationship.
There are many days where they're writing and I'm going around the room, but they're working. So the thought that they could do some of this work and flex their time. You could put it in the middle of the paragraph, right? You could be right in the middle and say C, A, or whatever you want to call it, and then the image, and then explain why that image is there for instruction. But then it's also, how do you use your time responsibly when you're not with me? And how are you accountable when you're not in the room where people are making you accountable?
If you're the person who waits till the last second, this probably isn't the course for you.
Don't procrastinate. Like the first paper we did, I was like, I can do this over the weekend, and then I waited till Sunday night to do it, and it was due at midnight on Sunday, which wasn't good, but this paper I'm finished with.
To be able to trust the students to use their time wisely and to do things outside of class on their own initiative.
Treating seniors like young adults and actually giving them a real life experience that they would have in college.
One of their choices is they can always come to class. So even if they're a blended student, but on a particular day, they need a little bit more assistance, or they know we're working on something where they need some help.
Teachers can get around and talk to students, every student every day, and be able to really increase rigor for students on a personal level.
But it works really well too because of the open lines of communication that parents can see everything that's going on. So there's not this there's a grade book somewhere that we don't know how it is, or we're waiting for an interim report.
I think that we're going through it together. I'm taking a blended learning course. I'm doing similar work that they're doing. I'm having to be responsible. If I push off, oh, I know I have that assignment, but I have to do it, but I have this to do instead, I can relate to them.
It also drives me to be more efficient. It's forced me to realize that in order to give students those opportunities, I have to be thinking ahead, and if I can do something once instead of 2 or 3 or 5 times, I really need to do it once. So I'm beginning to learn to record explanations of things, to answer questions in a video format or in an audio format that then I can send out to other students.
As a teacher, if it's something that you're thinking about doing, I think it's if the thought is there, I think it's worth investigating and looking deeper into it. As a student, if you're thinking about doing it, if you feel like that you can balance your time or manage your time and stay on top of the curriculum and have a to-do list, have a plan, and execute that plan, then it's the perfect high school model.
It's innovative. I think that I appreciate Worthington's willingness to take a risk.
As a 17-year teacher, it's keeping me fresh, and it's opening my eyes to melding together that traditional classroom instruction that I started my career with something that's more innovative, and it's exciting.